Is it a struggle? Yes, we have to realize our strengths and our weaknesses. Hi, and welcome back to Why Not with Janice, and I'm your host, Janice, helping others to reach their goals by providing interesting topics, inspiring guests to help you reach your goals from where you want to be from here to there. Welcome back. Hi, today we have a great guest in our studio. We have a great actor, Dave Perez. He's an actor, comedian, and a producer. And we're going to talk, our topic is filming and acting during the pandemic. Because of the pandemic, as we all know, our favorite shows were posted or pushed back. They couldn't film. Things changed even in Hollywood as they changed even in our own homes. So today we're going to talk to Dave Perez. I'm going to introduce him, and he's going to at least give us some insight of how things changed because of the pandemic for filming and acting. Welcome to the show, Dave. How are you?
I am blessed. How are you? God, I missed you.
Yes, I missed you too. Yeah.
I said the whole thing, a world disaster could keep us apart. And guess what happened? A world disaster.
World disaster. And
Yep.
it's still apart because I'm in my home and you're where you're at. We're still apart.
Yeah. I'm at a local business that I frequent. So
Well, thank them for having you use the show or use their place of establishment there. We appreciate that.
I'm in the back room. You know, I'm like that redheaded stepchild. They keep me in the back room. So I asked earlier, how have you been?
I'm good, Dave. I'm really good. I'm happy to be back on the air after being sick for a while. And it's really a difference when it comes to filming now because of COVID. I mean, I miss being in the studio, that we had the guests there. Now everything's through Zoom, and nothing's wrong with Zoom because you can reach people all over the world. You can reach people when, at their home, 7 o'clock at night, you can do a show, which is great. But you can't do this for filming and making a movie or a television show.
No.
So how has that changed for you being an actor?
Well, for that short period of time where everything was shut down, everything was just shut down. You couldn't, you mentioned that you were doing a couple of Zoom interviews. That was great. You're right. Zoom is an efficient way of actually still moving forward. I had some opportunities for the show to get people like Tommy James and the Shondells and so forth on my show. A couple other people in the music industry, but I was just stubborn. I said, no, I'm going to wait it out. I'm going to wait until this is over with. I can go to the Arcada and I can film it, but that didn't, now I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt. I should have got the Zoom interviews. BJ Thomas was one of them I was supposed to get, but unfortunately he passed away a few months back.
Right.
And that really kind of also hit me thinking about, you got to do it now, however you can, kind of like how you're doing it, through Zoom.
Right. Yeah. You got to take the opportunities when you can. And that same thing, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. I believe making lemon rain pie. I mean, do the best you can with those lemons.
I'm a glass half full kind of guy instead of half empty. And it's water, by the way.
Yes, it's a clean show.
Exactly. But since then, I did take that 6 months off, and I mentioned earlier, I stuck more so to exercising, eating a little bit better, but not totally right. I dropped about 20 pounds, actually. I'm a black belt in Taekwondo now. I'm going for my second degree. But then when things started opening up for filming, they weren't too concerned about the mandatory vaccinations like they're trying to push today.
Right.
But it was definitely COVID testing the day prior to anything, whether it's audition or getting, dressed, going in for a fitting or going on set. So I was getting stuff in my nose every other day, getting tested.
Now, did the studio provide for that, or you had to go somewhere and show proof?
No, the studio always set it up, which, the studios were great. They gave us a pay increment for that as well.
Wow.
They paid for it and gave us, a specific amount of money to do that. But But so yeah, I've been doing that. Then I did a couple short films, feature film, auditioned for tons of other things I never got, unfortunately. But then all of a sudden the mandate came in for the vaccinations, and I am not vaccinated. I've had COVID, so I am that one person. Yeah, way back at the very beginning.
Okay.
So I am that one person. I try to keep politics out of the arts,
Right.
But unfortunately, people on set always seem to want to bring it in. I hope I don't get blacklisted. I hope people don't dislike me. I'm not going to name names. But you're on set and they keep harping about it, and it's like, you know what? I have no opinion. I have no, I'm just sitting here in the corner, drinking my little coffee, waiting to be on set. But yeah, it's changed. It's really changed, and I guess I have my bigger opinion about it. But once again, the industry will frown upon it, and unfortunately, that's what a lot of things have come to today with COVID.
Okay.
You can't have an opinion unless it's their opinion.
Right.
And so with that being said, I've lost a lot of great auditions because of that, out of state, out of country auditions.
Okay.
For major films, because you need to be fully vaccinated. They don't care if you already had it. If you
now,
had
are
it,
you fully vaccinated now, though, right?
No, I'm not vaccinated at all.
Oh, you're not. Okay.
No, I've already had it. I've got the antibodies. I've been fine ever since.
And you're not going to get it.
No, well, you know what? Not exactly right now.
Okay.
Not exactly right now. I do see myself possibly in the foreseen near future. Yes. Not because though someone says I have to. I think it's a slippery slope when you start telling someone you have to put something in your body you might not want. Okay. We can talk about the how comes and whys and all that other stuff, but it's just once they do that, then they're gonna, now you got to get a shot for the flu. Now you got to get a shot for this. And they shouldn't have that right. But
so you lost auditions because you did not have the vaccine?
Yep.
Now, is that something studios will ask you prior to even tryouts now? Auditions?
Yes. Well, my agent will send me a audition request through the casting company and the director. And there's been a couple times the director personally contacted my agency saying, I'd like for your actor, because I've seen his reels, to audition. And I'm kind of in Dutch with my agent as well, for that same reason too. They're pushing it as well. Dave, we can't get you auditions, or it's bad on our end, and they request you and then you can't because you're not vaccinated, regardless if you've had it a year ago, So agents can also put on your resumes or on your page on their website. They should do this actually. I guess you go into people's personal business, but vaccinated, unvaccinated, so they kind of know not to send that audition to them.
Now, can I ask personally why you didn't get vaccinated? Was it more religious reasons or political or personal beliefs?
All three, honestly, all three. Okay. I got through COVID by God's will. That's right. Crazy. I had it, and I got through it by His will. And as far as politically, I don't believe someone should tell you you have to do something when I am following the science. The science dictates specifically, the CDC, specifically states all the science about it. And I have a higher, less, you can't, if you even do get it, it's less, it's nothing basically. So I am following the science, and a lot of other people say they do too. So I guess it's the way you present it, your own personal opinion of the science. Okay. So that's the political side. The personal side, no, I don't. I don't get the flu shot every year either. Okay. And I've been fine. I'm 59. Oh my God. Oh, wow. Yeah, and I've been fine for 59 years. I put my trust in God, in Jesus, my Savior, and I never ever frowned from that. I do feel that if someone wants to get the vaccination, great. I may get it one day. I just don't feel that I need to. until I hear that little birdie in the back of my head, and it may be
Holy
God
Spirit,
talking
God
to
telling
me,
you. Right.
the Holy Spirit's just saying, you know what, Dave, I got your back, but I can't say just in case I'm not watching, because I always am. Just, go ahead and do it. You're missing out on too many jobs, and I'm not going to change these people. I don't want to change no one. They got to change themselves as far as casting people in Hollywood. I don't see it getting any better in the near future.
So like when you're on a studio, how is it even with filming? Because even if they want most people to be vaccinated, do they still observe things like distancing or masking when they're not talking? Or are they pretty relaxed because they assumed everyone's vaccinated and they're okay?
Oh, no, absolutely. They follow all the guidelines.
They do.
Distance, wear a mask when you're not on set. When you're, distance yourself when you're eating a meal. There's always hand sanitizer, on set. So yeah, I got to give them a lot of credit for that. They go pretty, stringent on the guidelines, and that's fine. That's absolutely, what they
protect their assets. They protect their actors and their actresses
and their assets. They don't want to get sued.
Right.
But the sets I've been on, they don't request it. They prefer it.
Okay.
So, and I love those people because, hey man, let's get it done. We can still be conscious about what we're doing and still be safe. And, I pray when I'm on set for everyone. So
do you hear a lot of cases like in the filming that people are getting sick from COVID, or because they implemented all those safety protocols that they've been pretty good?
Nope.
Wow.
I personally haven't heard any of that, of someone getting COVID on set. I'm sure someone might have or have. I mean, it's a big industry, right? Worldwide.
Right.
But in the US, I'm sure someone probably had at some point. I'm still doing FO work, first overnights with FedEx. So I'm only working a couple hours early morning. And, we have people at FedEx getting COVID,
Wow.
We've had several getting COVID, and they didn't shut us down. I mean, they had us masks, and they, you're supposed to keep the 6 feet, but we have hundreds of people in a confined area. And I mean, nothing against FedEx. FedEx is going stringent by the guidelines.
Right.
And they're really cool about it. They provide us with all the masks. They provide us with all the gloves. They have hand sanitizer everywhere in the trucks. They hand it out to you personally.
Right. So, it's just nothing can be 100%, but it sounds like FedEx and the filming, definitely they do their part 100% what they can do.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wow. And I'm not going to knock. Yeah. And I'm not going to knock the casting people once again, or Hollywood itself, for mandating it. That that's what they desire and that's what they need. I'm the type of person, I think since you met me, I have fun at what I do. I love doing this, I don't need Hollywood, and Hollywood don't need me. So, I mean, not in a negative sense. I mean it. Right. I'm still doing what I want to do, and I'm loving it. I don't look at the money aspect of it, because once you do, then you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Like the athletes, they used to play in the dirt parking lots, and now all of a sudden they're making hundreds of millions, and they kind of lost the love of it. Now it's a business. And Hollywood is a business. It's got to be. I mean, they got to make their money. But I'd be that little kid on set, always. Usually when I am on set, I'm cracking the joke, and I'm minding my own business. I'm not opinionated. I just don't want no one's feelings to be hurt, and I don't want to bring politics to any part of the arts. Separate the politics. Just let us perform.
Right. And when you put your career and your faith and into it completely, and that's where your happiness lies, the money will come eventually. But you got to have the love of your craft, whatever your career is, filming, acting, teaching, anything. And that should be the main focus, and the money will come later. Because if the money's the main focus, you're not going to be happy, and it's going to show. Absolutely.
And with that being said, my monetary side of all that is not necessarily the money, it's the blessings. My daughter's healthy, my granddaughter's healthy, my sweetie Sharon, you remember Sharon? She's healthy, and everyone's doing good. We're doing good. We're not Beso rich, but we're not good times poor. So we're we're doing good. We're doing good.
Now,
And
when
also
you,
on set, you get those certain people that when you brought in faith. I mean, I sit down and I say what I just told you. I believe
right,
my inner faith. Be surprised. I met a lot of people. We'd sit there and just testify to each other, and
wow.
not even about COVID, just about life and acting, and
Mhm.
the things that you won't compromise for that. So
Right.
that's really cool to see on set.
Yeah, COVID actually has, I think, brought a lot of people together to have them think about things that they're very happy for, grateful for, blessed for, grateful for God. And it's just, you do start counting your blessings and realizing, hey, it's a lot more in life than just money. It's having family, relationships, and
Yep.
breathing.
Oh yeah, taking that breath. My granddaughter's 10 now, and she's going into junior high next year. So I got to treasure every second, because when she becomes that 7th and 8th grader, she doesn't want Papa around. I'm embarrassing her, but she's a good kid. I'm
And
blessed. I'm blessed.
a lot of people want to talk about the negatives of COVID, and I don't want to get away from the filming talking about that, but a lot of people want to talk about all the negatives of COVID. How about there were some good things with COVID that we are now being grateful more about our families and friends and what is more of value versus, going here, going there, or, you could be in a room with family members and they're texting, where now it gave time for people to actually talk to people and to rethink about their lives.
Yep.
So yeah, that's one of my projects I was doing, time, just rethinking and refocusing to get our lives directed to where they need to be at.
And that's that's kind of when we all got stuck in, we couldn't go nowhere really.
Right.
That was the point where the younger ones would go on the internet and just YouTube and TikTok. And so that was a negative side on my side. I talked to my granddaughter every day, and Master Park, the instructor at our Taekwondo school, excellent instructor, excellent with the kids, would always sit down with them and say, hey, listen, maybe a half hour a day, parents have got, and he would speak to Bella. That was, I mean, their mind starts to drift off from the family,
right.
part. And and so now, even like today, she wanted to go to McDonald's instead of having dinner that my daughter cooked. Now it was Korean barbecue salmon. Who doesn't want salmon? I want McDonald's, Papa. I'm like, I'm sorry, say that again. Hold on, say it to this ear. I didn't hear. And she did. I go, you know what? Give me your tablet. 1 hour, no tablet. She stomped her foot. Okay, 2 hours. Stomp your other one. I can make it 3. And then she started crying. I go, you're 10 years old. Why are you crying? See, this is on you. Right. I didn't want to do this. So you're right when you mentioned the fact that you get to talk more. Right. You get to really, say things that you wouldn't have said because of the hustle and bustle. We'd be at Comcast filming till 10 p.m., and
you
not
get to interact with family again and people again.
You appreciate who they are. And you find out things about who they are, and you find out things about who you are. I mean, me, I'm like, oh my God, could I do this for now? I find myself, I want to get those 2-3 big roles, get some money, and I actually want to buy a farm. I want to go to Wisconsin, get a farm. And that's a kid who grew up in a little village, I'll be 60 in January if God blesses me, and I'm sure he will. So count your blessings, I mean, like I said, Hollywood don't need me. I don't need Hollywood. I'm still going to make films. I've got my production cameras, so do you.
Right. And you also do production too. Are you working on any films lately of your own?
I'm doing one called Club Belmont. I'm in it. I've written it, directed, and been acting in it. And I got 2 lined up that I'm just going to direct. I'm going to produce and direct. It takes a little bit too much to continually be all hands on deck. It's hard. It's hard. And then I got to edit it. But I've come across individuals now that can help with certain things. Tommy's my cameraman still. Sharon, I'm trying to teach with the camera, but bless her heart, she's more of the logistics side of things. And I have a couple of friends that are now that things are sort of opening up, I'm meeting with another person who's a great actor, filmmaker as well.
Do you think that things are going to open up even more with studios because they haven't had the big production people in there, that they're more likely to possibly start looking at the smaller production companies like you and your films, because there's not a whole lot that has been taking place in the last year?
Yeah, that's the thing. Everything since the pandemic, everything's been streaming. So I don't see the long-term use of movie theaters. I just don't see the financials. They can save so much of my money. Just it's a lower budget to make it, and then you just stream it onto a service.
Okay.
You're not going to see those $15 million paydays for a role. I mean, the A-listers may, but it's going to be harder for people trying to come up to get that role. They definitely shifted as far as casting wise. They're casting more of color, African Americans, Latinos, definitely more women, definitely different. I know the word I would use, but I don't want to. The non-binary type of individuals. And
they're staying away from a lot of the big A-listers, I would think, because if a lot of people aren't going to the movie theaters, they're not going to be getting in that El Dinero. So
yeah, well, the one that was in the movies, she was a person who was with Tony Stark. She was one of the superheroes.
Jonah. Oh, I know who you're talking about. Jonah.
She was the Russian one that beat up everyone.
The Black Widow character.
Exactly, Black Widow. Right. Well, she's still Black Widow, and they put it in the theaters and straight to streaming. Correct. And she's suing them now because she thought she gets 3% of all movie, all the theater money that's made off of
Scarlett Johansson.
Right. Yes. So she's like, hey, wait a minute. If you put it to streaming, no one's going to go to theaters. I get 3% of gross at the movie theaters. I thought you were just going to show it in theaters, which they would have made another, 75 million. 3% of that is good money.
Yeah.
So
I'll take 0.03% of that.
Yeah, but 3% of 75 million. I wouldn't turn it down. So I think they're going in the right direction, but I also think that it's gonna. I don't know. It's hard to call.
What I found that I like was drive-in movies coming back. There's actually Illinois is actually kind of void with drive-in movies. There's not that many left. I think there's like one or two in the whole state. But different states like Indiana, Nevada, Arizona, they have a lot of drive-in movies. And I think if people aren't streaming, I think they feel safe at a drive-in, but maybe not at sitting in a movie theater anymore with all the people. I mean, it's kind of nice getting able to see these things also at home. Plus, we all have, I won't say we all have, people have big TVs at home too. Yeah. And they have comfortable seats.
I love a movie theater. I prefer to go to the movie theater than all of it. I don't stream any services. My daughter does. I watch MeTV. I watch all those, 50s and 60s, 70s movies. That's something that I've always liked anyway. And it's just getting filtered down. I think, once again, I don't want to bring my own personal opinions and politics into it. I think they should get the best actor, not the person who is in, the person of whatever right now. This is in, but that's Hollywood anyway, they're in right now. So you watch TV. I mean, honestly, it's changed. It's changed. You could see it's changed.
Yeah, the whole industry's changed.
And the Emmys, actually, if you watch the Emmys, there wasn't any national TVs on syndicated TV shows that were up for any Emmys. That's what I heard on the radio. I heard all streaming services won the Emmys.
Wow.
So that's kind of, they're doing series, they're doing movies, they're doing short films. So that would be my back door into getting into where I want to go with acting and filming.
Creating your own and producing your own short films or films. And that's why I was wondering if that's going to start leading towards that. Because a lot of people do, like you said, the streaming, people have the Netflix, the Hulu, and even services like I believe
Amazon,
Sprint, they give you free Hulu, things like that. Some of those phone companies do.
So, and if I ever burned a bridge along the way, I can always use a stage name. I could use El Wapo, El Wapo Films, whatever it may be. But I think that's honestly the way to go for the time being. I wish theater films would come out, motion pictures. But you actually need talent. I hate saying it like this because people are gonna bug me when they see this episode. You have to have talent. Direct. I mean, you direct either way, and it's gonna go either way. But television is different than motion picture. It just is.
Yes.
And I don't know. I haven't really seen anyone who impressed me as an actor. There had just a few. There's a few, but I think they're just, rodeoing them, getting them all in a corral and say, you do this film, you're going to do this film, all because of, their status.
Right.
I feel, and other actors feel that way too, because they're starting to see how Hollywood's going towards more of a woke kind of way.
We have a few more minutes. I have a couple quick questions to ask you. You can make them quick answers, I guess you could say. Do you think Hollywood is actually just, like you said briefly, just pushing out any old stuff just because of a name of an actor to try to get money off of it? Like low substance film, but great actor to think they're going to get money.
Yes, I do. I mean, I've seen previews and on YouTube, some of the reels of films coming out. I'm like, I would never pay any money to see this, and that's even with A-listers. So,
Okay. And then I noticed with TV, and wanted your opinion on that they're bringing out people from the past is that the only way they're going to, for example, I'm a Star Trek fan, Picard. Patrick Stewart is over 80 years old. And that is actually bringing out a more of a following versus young people with the new parameters that they're trying to do and different populations, things like that. Do you think that's where Hollywood needs to go? Just go back to the golden, true and tried people?
I think it's got to be an even mixture. They got to do that because those are the veteran actors. They teach us younger actors. I'm 59, but I'm still newer to acting as far as film and stuff goes. So I think they need both. And there's a lot of good young actors out there, just, to say that. So I think they should get a little of both.
A little of both. Okay. Now, you just mentioned earlier that you are getting ready to go for your 2nd degree black belt and your 1st degree black belt Taekwondo. Have you ever did a fighting kung fu film? And are you going to be the next Steven Seagal or Jean-Claude Van Damme? Are you going to spin kick for us on TV one day?
Well, I have a director that's back in Arizona now, Jesse Domingo, an Asian director, actually. And he wants me to be in a martial arts movie. To be filmed in Spain or in Colombia, one of the two. I guess I shouldn't be saying this, but anyway, and that's next year. He's he's just getting the funding, and yes, then I'll be putting my my Taekwondo stuff to work. I have weapons experience too, so it'll be really cool to see.
Okay.
I didn't get to see the script, but when I do, I'll give you a little heads up. I'll be on again.
You're looking forward to that, huh?
Oh yeah. It's out of the country. So, with that being said, once again, with the vaccination, I will, that's when you asked me, do I ever think I will?
Right.
Yeah, possibly, because I would want to do that.
Right.
And if that's what it's going to take, maybe I'll be at a better place. Maybe God will give me, hindsight, so I'm praying on it. We'll see. We'll see when it gets there.
Thank you again, Dave, for coming. It's been a great show. I mean, our topic was filming, acting during the pandemic, and we know things have been changing. We wish you the best of luck with your career, and hopefully new films will be coming out that we can see. But like everything in life, things have been changing with pandemic, and we just have to grow and with it and be blessed by God and have faith that God will guide us to our next step in life.
Amen to that. Amen.
Yeah. Thank you. And this is Janice with YNY9, your host. Please watch us on Facebook, YouTube, watch us on cable, and write us. Thank you very much. And until next time, I'm Janice. Bye-bye.